Well, here we are, Ty, to give an update to the community with regard to our Resource Recovery Center project at Marine Avenue, what we've done for revegetating the area and how we managed to repurpose different materials throughout that process. A lot of this came to fruition based on the Cathet Regional District Board's strategic plan, which incorporates environmental sustainability, supported our solid waste management plan development, and all of those key deliverables within those documents we're able to showcase here on this site. Further to that too, it was actually the Cathet Regional District Board that put forward another $100,000 of funding to revegetate this cleaned up area for sediment control, but also folding over into the public amenity piece as well. This area here, which is the lower parking lot area of the Marine Avenue site, was previously had lots of discarded marine materials throughout it and all sorts of invasive blackberries, etc. So now it's all been cleaned up with all of these native species planted. In the plantings, there was some of the ground wood from the site to retain moisture to help that new planting out. We repurposed the telephone poles that were found on site as parking delineation. We managed to repurpose some concrete and asphalt from the site, ground it up, and it became the surface that is provided for this parking area, as well as some of the trails up throughout the site that we're going to walk up and enjoy.
This will be a great entry point for active transportation corridor. You'll be able to come, park your car, hop on your bike, or just ride your bike right up and enter into the new site.
We had other large woody debris left on site. So what we did with it is we recreated like a slash or a forest floor here to help retain moisture, add carbon to what's going to be a natural forest. And we planted Douglas fir throughout the site, as well as western red cedar, white pine, and Sitka spruce in the lower wet areas. Western Forest Products supplied for free about 3,000 seedlings, supplied a professional forester to help us with the site-specific planting. Another 15, 20 years, this will be a fully intact coastal forest. So now we're at the location of the sediment pond that was engineered with steep walls, etc., to handle all of the stormwater runoff during all of the site work. So all of the water came down into here and was settled out before it went downstream. We knew we had to completely regrade this area and deactivate the sediment pond. So we found that it was actually going to be more affordable to just reduce the side slopes, etc., and sort of stretch it out and create a natural amphitheater. And the other pieces in here that kind of are showcased is the soils for the meadow grass mix were primarily all sourced from on site, and then the boulders were also from on site, and they were just placed by our contractor. Another example of repurposing materials from site are these wood chips here that was used for sedimentation control during this past winter's stormwater runoffs. Make sure that we controlled migration off-site of silt-laden water as much as we could.
We've been really creating opportunities from the challenges of this site to be able to take what would otherwise be waste and turn it into a functional resource, whether it's a ground cover or a tire retaining wall or metal bridges. We've been able to repurpose and reuse the materials from the site, and they could just be incorporated into the new design.
These are hugelkultur berms. Essentially what we did, instead of chipping all of the large woody debris on site, we used some of it as well as soil from the site to create these berms. The large woody debris is going to retain moisture, and that moisture will feed the plantings on top of the berms. So we're at the western spring area of the site, and this western spring here was actually covered in about 4 meters deep of burnt construction debris that had been leaching into this watercourse for years. So we've cleaned it all up, remediated it, and then kind of reconstructed the outflow. And some of the materials here that were repurposed from the site are this 2 to 3 inch gravel materials that we could bed the stream with. We're actually up at the what's going to be the compost education facility area, where Let's Talk Trash will be working with public in educating on how to do backyard composting. So I'm walking on one of our beautiful trails. Let's Talk Trash's educational tour trail for school kids or any tourists, people interested, to be able to move them through the site, just tell the story of what we did here. I can see that our Let's Talk Trash team has already repurposed some of these pieces of metal found on site to be planters to enhance their site and educate, show people what can be done with discarded materials. Where we're located here too at the compost education site is really at the beginning of one of the most important and valuable natural assets on the entire site. It's receiving and filtering the majority of stormwater from this site. It enhances the biodiversity of the site. By doing this instead of engineered infrastructure, we saved on greenhouse gas emissions, and it's worked out for us to be much more affordable than concrete and steel infrastructure. And then it has all of the other spin-offs, so it provides shade, it provides habitat for wildlife. When we come and visit now, we notice ducks, geese, so there's lots of birds, there's frogs, there's tadpoles starting. So Ty, I'm getting tired of doing all the commentary here. Can you tell us what you built here?
So where I'm standing right now is the future transfer station site, and we still have various resource piles. We have sand and gravel and rock that will all go into the subsurface, the road base for the new build out of the site. So that's the next phase, is where we actually get to build the facility. We'll be building an extended producer responsibility resource recovery center building, which will house our offices and our education area, workshop space, and pretty much everything you would expect at our local recycling depot, but larger, and also with opportunity for local collections for artists, businesses, social enterprises. And then this will be where we can divert clean wood waste, metal, tires, and also household garbage. The goal of this site is to be rethinking our waste. It's meant to be a one-stop drop, a hub for education, for repair, for sharing of ideas. It's a place for economic and environmental opportunity.
Yeah, our team would really like to thank all of the volunteers that have showed up and contributed to this project, both individuals as well as groups. I think, Ty, that's really made a huge difference, and just to get that community buy-in has been a positive experience.
And we'll be looking for more volunteers.